The 1990s were the pinnacle for analog supercars across the globe. Lamborghini had the Diablo, McLaren had the F1, and Bugatti had the EB110, and even Ferrari had the iconic Testarossa and F40. Every major manufacturer was really embracing the 1990s supercar era, and the customers, well, they were loving every bit of it. With so many offerings now available from different car makers, the well-to-do buyers of these supercars really had the work cut out for them trying to decide which car they actually wanted to buy. Some wanted the mystique and prestige of owning a Ferrari, some wanted the blistering top speed of a McLaren, and some wanted something a little bit different, something that wasn't so established, something unique, something that their wealthy friends couldn't just go out and buy. See, around the time that these major manufacturers were releasing their supercars, a bunch of small supercar manufacturers popped up to try and sell their vision of the perfect supercar. Two of those companies were Koenigsegg and Pagani, whom you may have heard of, but there were countless other names who fell into obscurity over the years. One of the most unique new supercars created at the time was known as the Spectre R42. And no, I don't mean Spectre as in the James Bond sense, although the car was technically British. Spectre in the 1990s happened to release their first and only production supercar named the R42, and it was without a doubt one of the most interesting supercars built during this era. And the Spectre R42 actually shared a lot in common with one of the most famous and most winning race cars of all time. Interested in hearing the full story of the Spectre R42? Then make sure to stay tuned to the end of this video to learn all there is to know about the wild Spectre R42. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rare Cars. This is the channel where we dive into the past and explore some of the rarest and most iconic vehicles of all time. If you want to see more short-form documentaries on unique cars like the Aston Martin Vantage V600 or the Gambala Avalanche and others, then make sure to subscribe to the Rare Cars YouTube channel as we'll be releasing new documentary-style content every single week. But without further ado, let's dive into the history and specs of the Spectre R42. Now, the inception of the R42 itself is also a pretty crazy story. See, the R42 started off as the brainchild of a man named Ray Christopher. Ray was involved with a company called GT Development in the United Kingdom. GT Development was known for their classic Ford GT40 replicas. Ray, after all the time he spent with those GT40 replicas, wanted to go out and build his own modern interpretation of the GT40. And Ray intended to even race the car at Le Mans and wanting to follow suit with the original GT40. Ray's attempt at building the spiritual successor resulted in the prototype of the R42. Now notice I didn't say Spectre R42 here, I just said R42. Unfortunately, sky-high development costs and a looming recession in the 1990s caused Ray's company GT Development to go bust. And when that company went bust, that is when the R42 became the Spectre R42. An American company, coincidentally named Spectre Motors Inc., purchased the rights to the R42 for a rumored $2.5 million. This included all the schematics, the prototype car, and all the actual information required to build the vehicle. Spectre even poached the lead sales agent from GT Development as well to help with the project. So Spectre basically took the prototype car and the lead sales guy from GT Development to actually try and go ahead and make a run at building the R42. With the Spectre R42 in essence being the spiritual successor to the GT40, it shared a lot of similarities with the famous car. The mid-engine Spectre R42 was powered by a 4.6-liter dual-overhead cam 4V8. This engine was very similar to the motor found in the 1996-1998 Mustang SVT Cobras, except in the R42, it was tuned to make 355 horsepower as opposed to the Mustang's 305 horsepower. Power was put down to the rear wheels through a manual 5-speed GetTrack box. And the Spectre R42, although being a modern 1990s car, based a lot of its suspension and chassis design off of the old GT40s. They just modernized it further with modern materials and adjustable dampers. As far as performance figures goes, the R42 is able to clock 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds and top out at around 175 miles per hour. The Spectre R42 weighed 3,400 pounds with the chassis primarily being made out of aluminum and steel with a fiberglass body over the top of it. With Spectre Motors essentially being a startup company, they had to save on development costs where it would. As one can imagine, building a supercar isn't that cheap. This led to the company employing parts from other manufacturers on the vehicle. The taillights on the Spectre R42 are from an Acura Legend. The door handles and headlights were from a Toyota MR2. And many of the interior bits were tragically straight out of a Ford Fiesta. But while this may seem ludicrous today, this was the nature of the 1990s, so you can't fault the car too much. After all, the later Lamborghini Diablos even used Nissan 300ZX headlights. When the R42s were all finally produced and ready to be sold to customers in the mid-1990s, they cost about 70,000 Great British pounds at the time, which was a considerable chunk of change. Only approximately 23 Spectre R42s were ever produced by the time that this company, Spectre Motors Inc., ended up folding as well. There was even another prototype made for the Spectre R42 GTR race car that was designed to compete at Le Mans. Unfortunately, that car never saw any actual racing, and the whereabouts of that car today are unknown. The Spectre R42's story is particularly tragic in my mind because it happens to be one of my personal favorite cars ever made. I love low production vehicles that were made by these smaller manufacturers, and I love that there's an American V8 powering it, an engine very similar to the engine that's in my Mach 1. And while yes, the Spectre R42 is technically a parts bin special on paper, that's part of what makes it so unique and so charismatic. The fact that they were even able to build 23 of these alone is impressive given the fate of most supercar projects. Tragically, these cars almost never ever see the light of day anymore, and really any information or pictures on them is scarce, let alone people actually driving them, which is a shame. They almost never ever come up for sale either. So the likelihood that somebody who would truly drive the car and display the car as it should be is very low. Well, if you do know of one for sale anywhere, comment down below. And that is the history of the Spectre R42 in a nutshell. So if you enjoyed this video, we would greatly appreciate it if you could drop a like and also share this video with other enthusiasts. Also, please make sure you are subscribed to the Rare Cars YouTube channel and smash the notification bell for more documentary-style videos just like this on the world's most fascinating cars. Until next time, enthusiasts.